Investors are placing their bets for 2017, and if you're looking at the mining sector, you're going to want to make sure you know which companies to pick. Our next guest is a geologist by trade, but also the man behind the popular report Fatal Flaws, which looks to teach investors how to find potential flaws in a mining project. Joining us now on Kitco's Gold Report is Brent Cook. Thanks for being with us on our Outlook series, Brent.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about these so-called fatal flaws. What are some of the key things that investors need to look at before investing in the mining space?
Yeah, well, this is a report that Joe Mazumdar and I put together, and it's available on the website. So there's a lot that goes into a lot of detail. But I think what we've seen recently is issues with metallurgy in terms of a company may have a deposit, and then it comes down to recovering the gold, the silver, copper from that deposit. And that can get quite tricky. So we've seen a couple of companies that we've commented on not be able to recover the metal, the silver, that they defined. And that takes the stock down considerably, and it pretty much kills the property. So that's probably one thing to look at. The
so
second,
you're calling
of course,
people out, Brett?
I'm sorry?
Are you calling mining companies out?
Not per se. If we see something seriously amiss, someone actually lying or really misleading, we'll call it out. But this is just a process that you go through when you're defining a deposit, moving it towards a production decision, is the metallurgy. And the quicker a company jumps on that, the better. But no, these things just happen. I mean, bottom line, it's really hard to find a high quality, high margin deposit. They're few and far between.
And we're going to get to your mining picks in a second. But first, it's no secret that the mining sector had a tremendous 2016. Do you think the success and the bullishness can spill over in 2017?
It doesn't look like it this week. I think my expectation is that we're going to see the precious metals back off into early next year as the market continues its, I think, unjustified rise, and the US dollar as well. But reality is going to set in next year, and when it sets in, the market should come back to reality, come down quite a bit, and I expect to see investors move back into precious metals as well as some base metals. So early in the year is probably the time to start acquiring quality projects, quality companies, with expectations that it'll pick up as the year rolls on and into next year as well.
And you said there's really not many out there, right, Brett? So what are some companies that you're liking right now?
Well, the companies that we own and had for quite a while, one of them is Mariana Resources, who have 30% of a deposit in Turkey. I've been to it twice. Joe's been to it. This is an outstanding deposit. They've got 2.2 million ounces, grading about an ounce per ton gold and 3.5% copper. This thing is going to grow. They are yet to put out a pre-feas. That'll be coming out early next year. I think that'll be quite impressive. We own a company called Cordoba, which has a early stage copper discovery and gold discovery in Colombia. And on the exploration front, I'm still a big fan of Marisol Resources, which has 2 joint ventures in Chile and Argentina. Should have some more, and has about $30 million, so they're going to do quite well. High quality companies. Those are 3 that I think will do well next year.
All right, Brett. Finally, we've seen the effect Trump's win has had on the stock market. Do you think it could spill over into the mining sector? Do you see any way it could be affected?
I think we'll see U.S.-centric companies' deposits probably get a bit of a boost in the expectations that regulations are going to come down and make it easier. I think what we're really going to start seeing is a lot more, we'll call them questionable projects, companies promoting themselves based on this perceived favorable environment here in the States. But no, I don't think we're going to see a big rollover from the Trump effect, if that's what you want to call it. We're entering, I think, right now in a non-fact based environment. But once the facts become real again and people recognize what's happening, I think we'll see the metals come back in favor.
Brent, thanks so much for joining us on our Outlook. I hope to see you soon.
Likewise. Thanks, Daniela.
And thank you for watching. We'll have much more Outlook coverage for you on Kitco.com, so be sure to stay tuned.